What is up, beautiful people? Zen here from the Journey Into, and I know it's been a while since I actually posted up on YouTube. I actually checked it out. The last video was on Tuesday, November 5th, 2019, and it is now Friday, November 22nd, 2019, which means 17 days have passed without me actually posting any content. So what's happened since then? Well, or what's happened during that time? To be honest, it was actually, I've been experiencing what they call the lull, the slump, the down period, the downtime, or what we call in the manifestation process, the grace period, right? Which is absolutely normal. Now, I was debating whether or not I should actually make this video, but I thought to myself, I should, because as much as I want to document just the ups and ups, I should be also documenting the lows and the downtime and this grace period, because I want to be as transparent as possible to be able to show you that this is actually the reality of how things work, right? If you might have heard it before, but this road to success is not a straight line. The road to success is all over the place. You'll get your ups, you'll get your downs, you might even go back in time through memory and all that stuff, and it just goes all across the world and all over the place, right? And that's just how it is. But what does that actually mean when we're experiencing it? And that's what I'm going to be covering in this video. I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what the grace period is all about, what you can expect from it, what I was experiencing through it, and what we can do to maximize our time while we are there. So if you're interested in that, feel free to smash that like button and let's jump right in. Yeah, people come. Yeah, people come. All right. So, like I mentioned before in this video, we are going to be sharing with you my experience during the 17 days of no activity and no results, which is part of the manifestation process. So, what do I mean? Now, you might have experienced this before, but whether you believe it or not, the universe works for you, right? So, that's just a very vague term, but I really want to be able to show you share with you the reality of what happens through your road to success, right? What happens is that as you gain more experience, as you gain more action, as you take more action, you gain more experience, your results might just actually start like this, right? And as you put more effort into it, get more experience, add more actions, you'll grow in your results, you'll hit this breakthrough where boom, you'll actually get some results. But what happens again is that once you hit those results, you'll actually taper off, right? And this right here is what you call that grace period. Now, this is just the micro of what happens. In the whole scheme of things, that happens like consistently, sometimes on a daily basis, sometimes in a weekly basis, sometimes on a monthly basis. Depends on how fast and how well self-aware you actually are, right? So in your whole span of life, even if you just reflect on it just a little bit, you can pinpoint a time where you were putting all this effort, all this experience, all this action, you didn't get any results, and all of a sudden you just got a breakthrough, a light bulb switched on, and you just got all the results you wanted. Then all of a sudden it just tapers off again, right? This period happens to us all, and it is part of the manifestation process. That period is part of that journey to success where it goes like this, right? That up and down. So what does that mean? Well, what's happening here is that your external reality now is trying to align with your internal world, right? What's happening is that when you hit your goal, right, depending on what your next goal is or what your next ideas are, there's a period in time where your external reality is kind of like, okay, this guy wants to keep going, but he doesn't actually have the external reality or the external skills required to do so. So now there's an alignment that needs to happen, and this is that grace period, right? This, unfortunately, is when most people quit their journey. This is when most people go on to a different and start from scratch again. This is a journey where people kind of go in a loop and really don't move forward because they just don't know how. This is happening because we live unconsciously. Take that in for a while, right? Because when you live consciously, three things happen when you're hitting that grace period. One, you redefine your plan. You go back to the reason you started. You go back to your why. And three, you strengthen your belief and faith. I use faith very vaguely, but like you strengthen your belief in the path you want to choose, because we are the universe experiencing ourselves. What that means is that the universe actually works for you, right? As blishy-blashy that sounds, whether you believe it or not, it's true, right? The universe gives you exactly what you ask for, whether you want it, right? Or whether you put a positive spin on it or if you put a negative spin on it, the universe works for you. It provides it for you, right? There's only 3 energies that actually can go with any thought that you have. That's either positive energy, a negative energy, or a neutral energy, right? When you have a neutral energy, there's very less resistance. That's when things just start happening all over the place, right? That's when you actually let go, surrender, right? There's all these different terms, but that might be outside the scope of this video. What I want to be able to share with you is that these lulls, these grace periods, these downtimes, these times when you feel like nothing's working out, you're not getting any results, when you're putting all the effort in, all these actions, all these blood and sweat and tears, and you're just not getting results, that's the grace period that we all go through. It's normal. It's part of the process. And what's happening here is really in as vague as possible, but for lack of better words, it's the universe really testing you out, saying, do you really want what you're going through? Do you really want what's on the other side? Right? And once you've actually aligned yourself with what you really want, then things start to actually dissipate and you start getting your results and you feel like you're getting progress again, right? If you want to, like, again, that's a little bit outside the scope of what this is all about, right? I haven't actually gone through like a spiritual context from the beginning, but if you want to learn more, it's actually a great book, Reality Trance Surfing. I've made mention of it before, but I'm going to make mention of it here because it's a great book to really understand of how we can actually manifest a reality. There are thousands, hundreds of thousands of people out there living the lives that they want to because they've really understood how to it's not even a secret, man. Like, you know how that secret law of attraction, it's not. You either live consciously or you live unconsciously. And when you live consciously, you're living self-aware. When you're living self-aware, you learn more about who you are as a person and you become your identity. You become who you want to do and things just work out, right? Yeah, there's going to be obstacles, there's going to be growth, there's going to be tests, so to speak, because the universe is really showing, do you really want what you're asking for? Okay. This is your chance to say yes or no, okay? So what happened through my grace period was this. When I hit my first couple of sales, I was like, yes, I got my goals. And then for some reason, I decided, let me go back and actually focus on creating that seed fund. That's when I did my payment proof $49.85. After that, I went back into actually focusing more on different ways to get the seed fund, right? How to be able to create that $100 a month seed fund. But that was not aligned with my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal with this channel is to make a living online, right? Now, as much as I want to be able to provide those things, I haven't even figured out how to do the 100 things online, but that kind of diverts from where I want to go. I should be going for finding the next challenge. I should be going towards finding a way to create my income that will remove or replace my full-time job, right? That's where I've aligned myself. And now that I've kind of like realigned, redefined, and my external reality is actually now matching my internal world, now there's progress, right? I've actually found out a new challenge that I'm going to be embarking on, which I'm going to be sharing in the next video. I've also found a lot more about myself, right? Because I also found out some ideas where every entrepreneur, every person should have like certain hobbies, being creativity being one of them, money-making hobby being another one, and like, I forget what it was. There was like 6 of them. But creativity was also lacking with what I was doing, so that's why I got into TikTok, right? TikTok was actually what I was missing. I used to do it on Snapchat where I'd be able to create creative stories and stuff like that through Snapchat. And that was still missing in my life, so I jumped onto TikTok and I played around with there for a while. Again, it's not going to be a focus, but now I have tools that helps realign my balance and actually moves me forward towards my journey. So how does that work out for you? Now, the way that it works out for you is like this. If you ever get into a slump, or when you're feeling that everything is actually just, you're putting all the effort in and nothing's happening, go back to the reason why you're starting or you're doing this and reconfirm what it is you actually want to achieve. Because what's happening here is that there's a misalignment with what you're doing and what you actually want, right? once you can reconfirm or redefine what you actually want to achieve, all you got to do now is just cut the thing that's stopping you. Because at that moment, there's two things that are happening. One way that you want to go, the other way that you want to go. They're actually pulling at you in two different ways. That's why there's no congruency, right? So once you define where you want to go, you just got to cut the other place. Doesn't mean that you're never going to revisit it, right? It just means it's not helping you in this part of your journey to advance. Or what most people do, they quit and they find a different route. I'm not going to tell you which is the right one for you because that's up to you. You've got to be able to decide from your self-awareness. Like, again, this is outside the scope of what we're talking about. And again, if you want to become more self-aware, if you want to see more of that kind of content, I'm going to be plugging it in here and there because being self-aware is a huge part of being a human being. And it's a really huge part of being able to manifest what you want, right? Whether you do it consciously or unconsciously. So, but I would highly suggest if you are interested in that kind of stuff, Reality Transurfing, great book. It does help out. So, but yeah. Again, I was kind of debating. I didn't really know what to share with you because like everybody goes through these lulls, these slump periods, and they all deal with them differently. I just want to share with you the reason why they kind of happen and what we can do. And what I find that works best for myself is to really just redefine what you want, go back to the reason, and just from there, once you've actually got that alignment happening, it's hard to explain because once you've actually, when you start kind of like thinking about what you want to do, you're living in your mind, which is kind of like your fear sense. And then once you start actually planning them out and choosing, now you're actually living from your heart sense and you can kind of just feel it when it's right. Now, how do you define that? I can't define that for you. It's like, how do you define love, right? Those are all like illogical feelings that we experience. But again, outside the scope of this video, main thing I want to share with you, and I'm going to say it again, we all go through grace periods. These grace periods are slump times, and this is when we've got to go back and redefine our purpose, our goal, and just focus in on what you really want to achieve because the universe will provide it for you as long as you know clearly, without a shadow of doubt, what you believe you want to achieve. Because there's a saying out there, and I'm going to finish it off with this, is that if the plan's not working out, don't change the goal, change the plan. Right? So that's it. Tonight I'm actually going dancing because I haven't gone dancing in a while. And if you watched my welcome video, I love to dance, and I feel like that's a little part of me that's missing, the whole creativity part. So that's why I got into TikTok. That's why I'm going dancing tonight. Because for me, it's very important to keep balance with my creativity because that's what helps me get these juices flowing. So yeah, I'll be consistently putting up more videos. Like the next video, I am going to be announcing my challenge. And I am working on a website to fix my whole documentation process because I am quite weary of putting myself on YouTube, Facebook, on Instagram, only because I do know, and I've seen it happening more so than ever right now because of COPA and all those different laws, that accounts are being shut down without notice, and I want to be able to make sure I have a small piece of the online world for myself. So I figured the only really real way to do that is to have a website. So I'm going to actually focus a little bit more on my website, but I'll still be posting on here. Just that if all this stuff goes away, I'll still have my website. Right? So that's all for now. Hope you guys have a great and fantastic day. If you got to this, if you got far, let me know what's helped you out. Let me share some thoughts. And if you want to add me or take this conversation deeper, feel free to add me on Facebook because that's where I take these conversations a little bit deeper. And if you're still here, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you in the next video. Hope you guys have a great and fantastic day. Till next time, one love. Peace. Yeah.